if you know this, but in Seattle there's a park. And in that park there's a tree. And on that tree there's a sign. And on that sign it reads, with no further explanation, no piñatas allowed. Do you guys have any idea how many separate piñata-related events had to have occurred before somebody marched their ass down to a sign shop and had that bad boy custom made? Because I don't know if you're sign shop aficionados like I am, but that's not just hanging on the wall of a sign shop, all right? An adult had to walk into a place of business and talk to another adult and be like, hey, this has got to end. I have to imagine it must have just been some sort of day-by-day piñata-related issue. Or one horrible candy-filled Cinco de Mayo tragedy. It's not even the weirdest thing I've seen in Seattle. I don't know if you know this, but in Seattle we've built benches. Perfectly good benches. And on those benches we've built statues of homeless people sleeping on the benches. Nobody knows why. I've asked. I've got some theories. Theory number one is I think that may be the single most passive-aggressive way for us to keep homeless people off of our benches. We're over here like, I'm sorry, Rusty Joe, I'd love to let you sleep here, but I've already chiseled a young man on this one. Move along. It's either that or we're trying to frighten very superstitious homeless people, all right? We're out in the Nickelvilles, out in the tent cities like, hey, listen, I am not saying if you fall asleep on a bench in Seattle, you'll turn to stone. But I'm not saying it, you know what I mean? Kind of hard to argue with the evidence if you ask me. Move along. But my favorite thing about Seattle is that I've talked with my friends that have lived there all of their lives, and they warn me that everywhere I can afford to live in Seattle is in the ghetto. I'm sorry. I grew up in a small, poor town in Georgia, all right? I've seen some beautiful world-class ghettos in my day. Seattle, Washington, I don't know if you know this, but demographically is half liberal arts student, half Amazon employee. Which is scientifically the least scary group of people you'll ever encounter. Like, I don't even know what a ghetto would look like in a city that liberal, right? What is that, just a bunch of Mumford & Sons sitting on their front porch? Wearing vests, drinking their handmade micro-brewed 40 ounces? Smoking their fair trade crack cocaine out of a crack pipe they made out of like recycled materials. They're just sitting there threatening to stab you with their blacksmith forged artisanal shivs. Yelling at the top of their lungs, I got $40,000 in art school debt and nothing left to lose. Mugging you so they can afford Whole Food pomegranates, you know. Just a bunch of dudes with multicolored dreadlocks doing ironic drive-bys on their unicycles. Dragging out an antique record player to listen to an LP of Notorious B.I.G. they heard about on NPR, I'm not afraid. If I hear a gunshot in the city of Seattle, I'm just like, watch yourself, somebody didn't sort their recycling properly. It's a gangland war, glass versus plastics, watch your ass. Like, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to have both a ghetto in your neighborhood and also have 8 places I can take my dog to get a massage. Do they have dog massage parlors down here in Tacoma? Hey, you people are too busy having common sense. Call me old-fashioned, but dog massage, isn't that called petting your dog?